And welcome to the Nailing History podcast. I'm your co-host, Matt, and I'm here with John.
Hey guys, how you doing?
And John has from what I'm told, John has a pretty cool idea for a podcast, either event or game or something for us to do on this podcast. So I'm going to let him go ahead. I can't wait. I can't wait.
So,
and here's John.
So I'd like to say we've been pitching ideas around, but my friend Matt thinks that I have ADD, so we can't really stick on to anything. But we wanted to do something based on history and American history, and so we had this idea of kind of taking the founders and kind of doing a head-to-head matchup and kind of, seeing who would come out in the end. We're coming up with March
Founding
Madness.
Fathers.
Founding Fathers.
Okay.
Kind of talking who would come out on the other end, but we couldn't really hash that out. So the 11th hour.
I thought we had a good idea, but apparently it wasn't good enough.
He didn't want to really put the effort forward, I think. I bought a book on Kindle that he could have used to get there.
How much was that book?
Like $15 out of my own wallet.
Who was the author?
His name is Brian McClanahan, PhD, out of South Carolina.
If you're interested, if any listeners are interested in reading that book, what's it called?
The Politically Incorrect Guide to the Founding Fathers.
Okay. All right, so continue. What's this idea?
So I got an idea. So, we want to talk history. We want to go over some of these things. So I had this idea of basically having a deck of cards and assigning each card in a deck to a founder. And then we could play a game with those cards.
What game?
I don't know. Maybe Pinochle?
Pinochle?
I don't know many card games. I was thinking maybe Go Fish or something. We're not there yet, but we have to make the card. We have to make the deck of cards first.
So this is actually exactly how I wanted it to go. I knew this was what it was going to be. Okay, so you want to assign Founding Fathers to a deck of cards?
Yeah.
How?
Well, we're going to talk about it. I put 3 bullet points for each founder on a picture. So I'll hear. We have visuals. Sorry to our audience, but we have visuals. So we're going to kind of hash it out. But basically, we got a 52 deck of cards. So I asked Matt's favorite, ChatGPT, to give me a list of 52 founders. And I asked it for its, subjective idea of, I guess, who was the most important. That was the biggest thing. The reason why we didn't do this whole head-to-head thing of kind of, a bracket-style system, or why I kind of fell away from it, was that I thought we couldn't really find a way of defining, well, what is it that you're going to grade these founders by? Because everyone has a different take on, I think, why they think, Alexander Hamilton is more important than Thomas Jefferson, or more memorable, or more noteworthy. But for why and reasons why, and I think we just wouldn't be able to get there in the end. I think we would stall out personally. So I just thought it'd be cool to have, a deck of cards, and we can kind of just talk about it, and we introduce you to these people, and these cast of characters. Go from there.
Okay.
I thought about it. I spent 7 hours making these. I didn't make the cards yet. I just made it's the name and then a picture of them, and then 3
Are you gonna
interesting
make the
facts.
Cards? Like produce
I
them?
thought about it. If this gets off the ground, I might sell my idea to a conservative think tank and try to make money out of it. Because I don't think other people would be interested.
So how are we going to?
What
think tank do you think would be interested in?
There's one in Tennessee. I can't speak openly about them.
Okay.
But,
oh my god.
So.
Oh boy. Okay, so you want to make a
you
want to make a deck of cards, like a normal deck of cards, like a casino card. But I don't know what you even call it. Playing cards.
Playing cards. It's just to use as a
But you have no
backstop.
idea what we're doing with it then. We could play Pinochle, apparently.
Maybe go fish. I was thinking Texas Hold'em, and then we could do a thing where, you deal out cards, and then you have your hand, and then you have the, people are shown, and then while they're being shown, we could like say something interesting about them, or cool, or noteworthy, or have a discussion.
So. You want to have a podcast with no video where we play Texas Hold'em and people just listen to us playing Texas Hold'em with cards. And we just That's the worst idea I've ever heard in my life.
I'm in it for this long haul. This is our second podcast. I think I'm in it for the long haul. I think we're going to get video incorporated at some point. I just want to be ready.
I just don't. Okay. But we're playing with these cards.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe we'll just make these cards and then we'll put them up on Twitter or put them wherever, fans can access them, and then they can download them, bring them to school. Then they could make their own games out of them. We don't have to play the game. We don't have to decide that.
Okay, fine. We'll go with it. We'll go with it because you did all that work already. Now, is there a certain ranking system to make these cards?
That's our decision. We'll decide that.
But I don't understand.
Who do you think would be the ace of spades in a 52-card deck if you had to say assign a founding father to the ace of spades? Who would it be?
I don't have any idea.
Yeah.
I don't know what that question even means. Is the ace of spades
It's usually the strongest card.
In what?
In poker? Well, what is a 3 of hearts? Yeah, that's going to be in the weeds a bit. But that's episode 5, maybe.
Okay, but there's a ranking system.
Yeah, we'll have to rank them, but then that's when we'll hash out between us. Where do you think Samuel Adams goes? And I thought, but I haven't fully solidified it. Kind of don't have the whole thing there. I was thinking having each suit of cards be something from that era. Like a suit, Federalists would be the clubs. The Republicans would be the diamonds or something, and then you have foreigners, people that fought just in the Revolution would be something. I was thinking that.
No, there's not that many suits. There's only 4 suits.
There's 4 suits. But then you can we have to then
people,
rank
would multiple people be able to be used for multiple things?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to word association.
But
Alexander Hamilton, pick a card. What card would you expect to see Alexander Hamilton on?
The 9 of diamonds.
Why?
I don't. You tell me. I don't know what's that.
The top down. Yeah.
Well, it could be.
The ace is the highest. The king is the second highest, and we go in descending order. And each episode, or however long we do this, we could say, all right, today we're going to either do the aces and the kings, and then we assign 8 founders to those 8 cards.
Okay.
Or we do an entire suit in an episode. So then the ace, let's say the ace of spades, hypothetically, is George Washington. And then we go to the king of spades. And then we got to find, okay, well, who's that? But by the time you get to the 2 of spades, it's going to be someone more in the weeds and someone that people don't know about yet. But that's why we're doing a podcast, to inform people and tell them about.
I get that. Okay. You're making a little bit more sense. But I don't quite understand. You're just ranking these. It's just a ranking system. It's just a ranking system. That's it.
But yeah, wasn't the head-to-head matchup a rankings? I mean, you're basically ranking them based on like they're not shooting a basketball. I can't ask.
So you didn't change anything.
Elbridge Gary to come out of the grave.
You just expanded. You could just expand it from our collective idea of 16 people to 54.
I wanted 64 originally, but you wanted to water it down to 16.
Yeah. And then once we have these cards put together, we could sell them and make money.
Maybe.
Wonder how, like, I wonder if you have to pay to use, like, presidential portraits and, like, all those portraits.
I don't know. To even just upload it for free? Can you even just, like, upload a PDF of, hey, print it out, and you can cut, if there's, like, lines on them, you can cut them out.
Yeah, but I think if there's copyright. But then, you know how, like, did Mickey Mouse just become, what's the word where, like, you can use stuff to your own, like there's no, like, no one has a right to it anymore, like common something.
Public domain.
Public domain, yeah. So you think those are those might be in public
domain. If
they
aren't,
theyey're old enough.
I think
because like
most of them would be rolling over in their graves.
Mickey Mouse was because of how old it was, right? And like Yankee Doodle Dandy, I think that's public domain. Happy Birthday. It
could be.
Up All Night by Unwritten Law.
It's a great tune, everyone. Definitely check it out. So that's what I had. I mean, granted, he didn't want to hear about it. I said, well, what do you think? I got a great idea.
No,
I texted him like 8 o'clock last night and didn't respond. I'm like, oh, I'll just go ahead. I'll just blow the next 6 hours of my I'll just blow 6 hours on
I was busy. I was busy last night. Sorry. I don't want to get into my personal life, but I actually have a life outside of work in this podcast, but it's not much of one. And the reason that I didn't want to hear it was because I wanted our listeners to understand what I've been going through, trying to develop something with you.
Mm-hmm.
And also just for them to get like our initial reaction and conversation to what we're going to do. So that being said, we will, we're going to end this podcast, this special edition, inside look at how we're developing this podcast. And, you know, the next episode, I guess we'll start off with the first, you know, maybe eight people to go over in this ranking system for the card. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
8's good because, like,
I'm going to talk a little bit about each one.
We're going to need to know who we're talking about.
I mean, I bought the book.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm saying, like, if we start at the top 8, I think we can have a pretty educated conversation about these people.
I think that's fair.
So we'll I think we'll do the aces and the kings of this imaginary playing card deck that is coming to a store near you at some point, I think, right?
FAO Shorts will be carrying it, yes.
Are they a thing?
No. Just like this deck of cards won't be a thing.
All right, so we're going to I'm going to take that idea and we're going to just get it a little tightened up, and then we're just going to sign off and then come back, you know, maybe in an hour, maybe less, hit record again, and then just we'll be off.
Yeah, if anyone wants to call in as we're going through these.
Well, no one's going to hear this until like tomorrow, so that's not going to be possible. But.
Well, if just, you know.
I mean, I think, well, you can follow us on Twitter at Nailing History Pod, I think. Is that what it is? Or X? Hold on, let me look. Hold on. It is at Nailing History. I got that domain. That's pretty good.
It is
easy to find. We have 24 followers, all bots, and we're following one person, and it is Senator Bob Casey.
We're following Bob Casey. Why?
Well, when I set it up, it was like, hey, X is asking you what your interests are.
You put Bob Casey.
Well, no, so I think I set it up.
Senior senators out of Pennsylvania.
I think I might have actually set it up as like a media like a media account for free. Like, I mean, whatever. And it asked, like, I guess what it was, like what our interests were or what our media was. And I just said history and I guess politics, just because, like, you know, not current politics, but it's still politic related. So anyway, long story short, I went through the whole thing and then it forced me to follow somebody and it gave me like some recommendations. And I was like, nah, I think Bob Casey might have been the first one. And I'm like, I'll follow him. So he hasn't blocked us.
I think he'll sell his soul.
And, you know, at one point, I wish I would have made a note of it when I noticed that she had followed us. But at one point, we had some like pretty prominent she was verified on Twitter, which isn't a huge deal anymore because you can just pay for that blue check mark. But I looked up who she was, and I can't think of her name, but she was like one of those like an NCAA athlete that was kind of very vocal about trans like athletes. She was like a swimmer from somewhere, and she followed our podcast. I don't know how that happened, but she unfollowed us.
Dang.
Which, I mean, I don't know how that happened. I wish I would have made a note of that because it was very strange. But, you know, everybody else is like, let's see who our followers.
You don't think that was also a bot, maybe?
No, I mean, it was verified. Like, I don't think bots can be verified. She was like, it was like legit posts, and she had like a decent amount of followers. We have Kinsley Salzberg, Nia Peets, Hortensia Botello, Kiera Stein. I mean, pretty much everybody just has an OnlyFans in their bio. So, I mean, they're following us. I mean, I think they just like run a thing where just follow like everybody, or like they just run like you click on these people and it's like, oh, they're following 4,800 people and they have 77 followers. So like they just follow people in hopes that follows back. I mean,
well, you never know. Might end up with someone's OnlyFans. They might have a new deck of cards. Maybe.
I mean, I will follow everybody back who follows us, so I got to go through that. So if you guys want to follow us on Twitter, again, it's @NailingHistory. That's all we're on right now. I tried to set up an Instagram, but I couldn't figure it out. I kept getting denied or something. And but yeah, we're gonna go on there. We'll be posting some. Maybe we'll post some polls of. You know, what do you guys think about what do you guys think should this certain founding father be an ace or a king, you know, and maybe get some fan input, and maybe that will allow us to maybe we'll leave one up to the fans to choose.
Like that. Be the kingmaker. Literally.
For like maybe we'll have one suit that's fan based.
Yeah. And you know, we're kind of juxtaposing, right? Because a lot of these guys were Republican, right? And like, we got rid of a monarchy and now we're reimposing a monarchy. They might not appreciate it, but it'll be fine.
Well, it's like multiple monarchies, and then like they fight.
That's true.
That's a good point. Maybe we should change them to like the ace is fine, but maybe like the king should be president.
That's a problem.
Why?
Elected kings?
Well, I mean, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like it's not the king, it's the president.
Yeah, but the president's basically a king now.
And on that note,
I just think it's gonna be fun.
It's not
a horrible idea.
It's not I mean, it's not. It's like the playing cards thing is kind of just like a baseline to rate these people.
Exactly.
I think the issue is going to be, as we get down to the bottom of the list, it's going to be very, very boring to talk about. However, we could do like,
or those are the interesting ones.
They won't
devils
be that,
in the details.
I mean, they'll be. They might be
handsome founding fathers.
They might be somewhat interesting, but obviously, I think we're going to have to do like the amount of people that we do. John showed me a picture of this guy, John Stark.
Isn't that a basketball? John Stark.
No, I mean, you might be thinking of John Stockton.
No, I feel maybe a Nick Starks.
Or what's Iron Man's name?
Well, that's it. Tony Stark.
Tony Stark. Are they related, you think?
Should
John
be.
Stark and Tony. That is a hell of a hairline.
A lot of them. again on an audio only podcast. We're going to try to be very descriptive. We'll post all these. We'll post all so you can see who we're talking.
We'll post the pictures of our ranking and everything. So I guess at that point you might be able to follow along with our Twitter to see who we're talking about. So it's easier. Or I mean, you could just Google it. It'd be pretty easy because I assume John's effort for doing this was just Googling somebody and taking the first Google image.
First, second, or third.
And also, before we sign off here, I just want to ask you one question.
Sure.
Was this idea thought up by ChatGPT?
No. ChatGPT is a tool, and it was an assistant.
How did
I gave it the ideas?
What did you?
I had the thought.
What did you input the ChatGPT on this one?
I'll show you. Let me see. Got really in the weeds here.
That's one thing that we need to go through at one point.
I asked them to I asked them to do it. Like, give me like 52, but then it was lame. No, it was super lame. And I'm like, no, that's great podcast material. We decide, and we argue
Can you
about
spread out. Aces should be the most important founders. Twos should be the least important. Use your discretion with these, and you copied and pasted their list.
No, and then I was like, no, and then I read it, and I'm like, those are stupid. Patrick Henry is a 4. I was like, that's
hold on. Like,
scroll.
Can you scroll back up? That's what we're looking at here. I want to see your input here. Okay, go down. Now, when you said, can you spread out? Aces should be the most important founders. Twos should be the least important. That's all you really needed to say when you were describing what you wanted to do. But those words never came out of your mouth when you were explaining your pitch. Just so you know. So I was confused.
Oh, well, you're okay now.
I'm pretty okay.
I think it's
a good idea.
Fantastic.
It's fine.
If anyone else has any ideas to make history fun, hit us up on Twitter.
Yeah.
X, formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, we're the we're
the nailing history parentheses, but we're happy to have you help us nail.
We're amateur history enthusiasts is what our titles are. So, well, I'm not.
I mean, I am.
I'm more of a
guy who spent.
No, yeah, all right. We'll sign off. We're just kind of trailing off here, and then we'll be back with the next episode where we'll actually get down to some rankings. All right. Till next time.
And we say bye-bye.